Okay, we're going to see the hot-cold game in action. First we'll see punishment-based training, and then we'll do a clicker session, and then I'll do my version. So I'm going to have you try to generate some behaviors, and I'll try to shape them. How's that sound? Oh. All right, okay, so first I'm going to do punishment-based training. So try to generate some behaviors, and I'll shape them. So that's no. No. Stop it. No. Yes, click. Click treat. Click treat. No. No. So how did you think that went? Not much closer to our target behavior, huh? No. So we just wait for the animal to generate behaviors, and then we click them as they get closer. Let's try clicker training next. Ready? All right, so. Okay. So with clicker training, you don't reward for anything. You don't do anything unless they're headed in the right direction. And if they're not headed in the right direction, so for instance, if I wanted Jenny to sit in the chair, we don't even click or treat until they start in that direction. So it can take a while. Yeah, now let's do my version last. Okay, you ready? So generate a little bit of behavior. Oh, yes, Jenny, good, good. Okay, no, 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 don't do that. No, Yes, good girl, click treat. Okay, good, good, good. So you get more movement that way. So you're leading them and actually helping them find the way. You're not just waiting for it to happen. So, very good. Thank you very much. So when training is fun and successful, it's reinforcing not only for the student but for the trainer as well. Rewards, we talked a little bit about that earlier, Anne. Rewards are a speech in themselves, and due to our time frame, I just want to be sure that you're clear on a few things. I do use treats. Initially, for Lucas, I use carrot slivers mixed with a bit of integrity, but it's important to find something that your horse would enjoy working for, and with some animals, I don't use any food at all. Initially, treats are given on a steady and consistent basis. And then as the learning improves, you're going to switch the treats to an intermittent routine, say every second or fifth correct response. And then gradually and eventually, you're going to go to a random payoff. The unpredictability keeps the animal guessing and trying. Also, occasionally I'll use a jackpot, a large treat, for a particularly good effort that I'm really pleased with. And of course, throughout, we're going to insist on courtesy and manners. I never permit jostling or grabbing. The anticipation of the treat is a reward in itself. A cute example of that was Lucas's pose. He came up with that on his own. He thought that for his discrimination tasks that he was especially proud of, he'd pose and wait for me to clap for him. So I added counting. I'll count 1, 2, 7, 11, real slow, and then finally 3. And all this time, he's nickering. He knows what's going to come next. And as soon as he accepts his treat, very carefully and gently, which he barely even takes, where do you think his head goes? Right back to his pose, yeah. Hoping to engage me in another game. I told him I'm sure he acts like he's proud of teaching me to count. So we have a lot of fun with that one. Punishment, to me, doesn't have effective or helpful results. It's not that I don't insist on strict adherence to manners. I do. I just don't believe in chasing after mistakes and repeated problems. I don't want to be made to react. So what I'll do instead is use intermediary markers to let others know when they're getting off track. And that's a fair and clear arrangement for me and my friends, both human and animal. I also believe that punishment results in unpredictable and volatile results. Animals don't naturally reason in a backward fashion, from what I've seen. You know, just look at our people problems. Smoking, getting into debt, drinking. Even we don't view negative consequences as a deterrent. Yet we expect our animals to put it all together. Let's go back to that. Our light touch is on the horse's muzzle. We're going to click at the exact moment of maximum effort, given the student's current capabilities and learning. We're going to simultaneously release the cue, our pressure, and then follow up with a treat. And now, as soon as we begin to get a reliable response, we want to start expanding that. And we do that by once again waiting. We're waiting this time for a larger response. You can expect, though, that when the animal isn't clicked for a usually rewarded behavior, there's going to be some frustration, irritability, surprise, all of that. It's similar to when we go to start our car and the car battery's dead. We'll hit the steering wheel, maybe shake our heads, try the key in the ignition a few more times. Well, horses are no different. When they don't get clicked for that usually rewarded behavior, they're going to offer unrelated responses, repeat a behavior until coming up with an improvement. Now, what are we doing when all this is going on if they're trying all this stuff? Well, we're just calmly and casually waiting, trying to maintain the same cue pressure and positioning. Think of it this way. For me and my horses, A and B cues always lead to response C. It's very confusing for the animal when C doesn't happen right away, and then the trainer throws in different cues or multiple cues and louder cues. There's no clear and consistent connection, and the training gets muddled. So it's up to us to be examples, to be good examples for our horses and our students. They can't be more reliable than we are. I'm always playing with those bars, those training bars, distance, duration, distractions, refining the cues, and expanding the response to try to stretch the learner. Deliberately and carefully, one at a time, I'll see what I can get out of them and expand the learning. This shifting, though, can sometimes result in a seeming regression or a slight delay in other areas, and that's all right. That just means that the training is progressing and it's to be allowed. This is similar to teaching the flying change. We're willing to compromise a bit of impulsion or steady contact or straightness till the horse gets the idea, and then we bring back up what we temporarily lost. And a word here about attitude. Having a cheerful, appreciative, and respectful outlook can do wonders for our training results. Regarding sessions as fun, explorative play that are mutually enjoyable, it produces curiosity and eagerness. This also just makes good training sense. The more behaviors that an animal is willing to try without being afraid of punishment gives us more of an assortment of actions to shape. Now, this realization came to me hard won. I myself didn't finish the 10th grade, ran away from a foster home, hitchhiked all over the United States as a 15-year-old, and I never went back. So learning can take place in a happy, creative, and stimulating environment. And I subsequently attended 8 years of college and was valedictorian, student of distinction, honors graduate, and on the dean's list repeatedly, primarily through self-study. So doing things differently allows us to see possibilities beyond limitations and suffering. So we're in our spot watching and waiting. I'll click and treat a few times, and then we take a break. Sessions are brief, and the schedule is flexible depending on your time and goals and energy. I think horses are a lot like little children, in my opinion, and they need time to absorb new information and the latitude to explore options, and I encourage this. We don't get mad at little kids, do we, if they get confused? I hope not. No. So as we go along like this, we can draw out more of a response with fewer treats, and soon we can dispense with the tactile cues altogether if we want. I personally fade and eliminate all tactile cues. That's just my preference, but you can leave the lessons as touching tricks and still have a lot of fun with them. We've covered a lot of ground here. You've learned about the overall process of shaping by creating and capturing, using intermediary markers paired with your click and positive reinforcement. You've seen how important liberty training and your attitude are for success, and you have some training bars to think about. It's a lot. I hope this is meant as an overview to offer you a variety of tools that you might want to use. So I hope you'll find them helpful. And I'd like to leave you with a final thought. And that is, in my experience, the best way to make changes and improvements in others is to start from within, developing qualities that we can share through our example, which then extend into the world around us.